yogis, welcome to a 60-minute Vinyasa flow. This is kind of a flow of all flows, so nothing in particular that we're necessarily peaking up towards as far as a peak posture, but we will be moving through quite a bit of flows today, so feel free to take stuff out, add stuff in. This is by all means your practice, so make it what you need it to be today. Let's go ahead and begin standing today. Come up onto your mat. Let your feet be a little wider than hip width distance apart. This movement is a movement meditation or sort of a body vinyasa, and it serves as a way for us to help us kind of clear the negative energy that we have on top of us, within us, whatever we're moving through or working through right now. This movement is called Apana Vayu with a V. And the way that we do it is we keep a softness, some buoyancy in the knees. Let your arms just relax down by your sides. As you breathe in, take a breath in through the nose and guide your arms up and to the sky. Reach them all the way up. You might take your gaze up. Now press your palms down towards the floor. And as you do this, you can softly bend the knees a little bit here as well. So as you inhale, use the full length of your breath in to stretch the arms up. And as you exhale, just slowly press your palms down like you're pressing water out of something. If you get used to this movement and you feel steady, you can close your eyes and really start to engage yourself in this movement meditation. Something a little different than how we typically start a class. Typically we're still concentrating on the breath. We still have the breath in mind here as we're connecting movement and breath now. But we're activating the muscles, we're standing tall, we're finding a little bit more heat as we move and as we find that Ujjayi pranayama, victorious breath. Inhaling through the belly and exhaling out through the nose until your belly empties completely. And I like to kind of think about this movement meditation as a way to inhale and think about all the things in my life that I'm grateful for, all the things that I want to cultivate. And as I exhale, just washing away any negative energy that might be on me, within me. We sometimes, without knowing it, attract negative energy from others. So you might even just think about the conversations that you've had. It's always nice to have a friend or someone in your life that can listen to you, but remember that when you are telling a negative story, some of that energy does attach itself to the listener. So just take some time to move through. We'll do about 3 more here on our own. And during this time, you might be thinking about what it is that you want to cultivate for your practice today. So with this sort of being the flow of all flows, maybe your intention today is to just be in the space, to simply move with your breath and find the connection between the two. Sometimes that element of the practice gets lost, especially if it's a faster paced practice like a vinyasa. So today, invite that feeling in to really be present and to stay in each moment, noticing how the breath really helps you to expand or lengthen a posture, or the posture gets a little easier as we draw the breath in. Vinyasa means linking postures and movement together with breath. So as you come into your practice today, make sure that that's an element that's primary today. Go ahead and open your eyes. And on your next inhale, stretch your arms up. We'll go ahead and keep the arms separated this time. You can walk your feet under your hips a little bit. As you exhale, take your right hand down to your thigh and lift your left arm up and over for a side body stretch. Gazing over towards the left if you like, keeping the space around the head, neck, and shoulders. Lots of work for the obliques here. As we inhale, stretch both arms to the sky. As you exhale, bring your left hand down, stretch up and then over to stretch laterally through that right side body. And then again, notice if your neck is crunching here, or even the shoulder. With your next breath in, stretch your arms up to the sky, and as you exhale, goalpost your wings, lift your chest, squeeze your elbows together behind you. And now inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Flowing, exhale, right hand down, left arm over, and all the way to the other side. Inhale and exhale. Good. Breath in to switch to the other side. And breath out to lift your arms up overhead. Take a twist to your right. Open arm twist as the right arm reaches behind you. Left arm reaches forward. Try to keep your hip points square to the top of your mat. Breath in stretches both arms to the sky. Breath out takes our open arm twist to the left. Breathing in, lifting through the crown. And breathing out to twist a little deeper. As you inhale, reach your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, interlace your hands behind your back or grab for opposite elbows. Pull your knuckles down to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, hinge at your hip creases and bow forward for a forward fold. With chest expansion, bringing the weight into your toes. Shake out your head, yes and no, releasing through the back of the neck here. Straighten the legs, bend the knees. You might alternate that movement a few times. Notice if the heels of the palms are separating. Try to bring them together and allow your arms to hang heavier, releasing that space behind the heart. And then go ahead and let your fingers come all the way down to the mat. With your inhale, lift halfway, slide your hands up your legs, can be to shins, knees, or thighs. I need to lift a little bit myself. Lift until your shoulders are in line with your tailbone, and then shoot your tailbone back behind you while the crown of the head lengthens forward. Spread the toes and ground down through both perimeters of both feet here. As you exhale, bend your knees a lot, plant your palms, and step back into high plank position. Bringing your shoulders right over your wrist, your heels over your toes. Take your gaze forward past the top of your mat. And strong here through the arms and the legs. So instead of just letting your legs kind of hang out in space, really energize your legs. Lift your kneecaps up onto your quads. Stay lifted on those toes. Your shoulders always want to kind of creep behind the wrist. Try not to let them. And on your next inhale, shift even more forward together. Option to lower your knees, lower all the way down to your belly with control here. Bring your forehead to the mat. Press into all 10 toenails, and as you breathe in, lift your head and chest only, baby cobra. Keep your chest broad, your shoulder blades squeezed together. And as you exhale, lengthen the forehead and heart back down. One more time like that. Press through the feet first. Energize your inner thighs. Lift your head, lift your chest. Option to lift your palms here as well. Keep your gaze just past the bridge of your nose. Exhale, lengthen your forehead back down. If you want a fuller back bend, walk your palms back. Make sure your elbows stack over your wrists. On an inhale, lift all the way up until your arms straighten. Find full cobra with the thighs on the mat. Option to press into the tops of your feet and lift thighs for upward facing dog. Pause here and soften your elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Point your toes behind you like a ballerina, and as you shift back into down dog, you have the choice to either lower the knees, or roll over toes. That transition is always yours to customize. Let's take a breath in together and exhale to let it go. In your down dog, make sure feet are hip width distance apart. Hands are shoulder width distance apart. Spread your palms really wide and press into the finger pads. Soften your knees a bit so there's more length out to the back of your spine and tailbone. Reach your heart towards your upper thighs, and instead of drawing your elbows out to the sides, wrap them down towards the floor. Let your head hang heavy in between your arms. Maybe shake it out. Yes and no a couple of times. 2 feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, stretch your right leg up and then bend at the knee. Roll open through your hips. Stack the right hip right on top of the left. Keep your shoulder points square by looking under your left armpit. You might be able to find your right toes. Flex through the foot, try to lift the right knee higher, really open up that left inner groin. And now straighten the leg back out, three-legged dog, point your toes down. Set the foot back down for downward facing dog. Inhale, your left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, bend the knee, peel open through the hip. Try to squeeze your left heel now towards your right glute. And then gaze under your right armpit. See if you can find your toes. Squaring off those shoulders. And then as you're ready, extending the leg back to a three-legged dog, toes point down. As you exhale, step the foot back down to downward facing dog. Breathe in. And exhale, breathe out. On your inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Point your toes down, square your hips. As you exhale, draw your knee to your nose and round your spine, shoulders over wrists. Two more like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull it in. Good. Inhale, lengthen. And now exhale, pull it in, pause, look forward, and step your foot in between your hands. Grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use books here or anything else that'll help you elevate. Little cat hair. Hands come underneath of the shoulders with your blocks. Lift up as tall as you can. So you may need to lift the height of your block so that you've got some extension through the spine and the torso here. Take an inhale, and now exhale, wide-legged pyramid. Straighten the right leg long. Lift your toes up, and as you exhale, bow over your front foot and leg. Keep scissor hugging the right hip back in space for wide pyramid. Inhale, and now exhale, lunge back into the front knee, blocks to the side. Sweep your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Set the foot back down, downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. Feet together at the back of your mat. Sweep your left leg to the sky. Square your hips. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull it in. One more time, breath in and lengthen. Pull it in, pause, look forward, step your foot through, heel, ball to toe. Grab your blocks, bring them underneath of your shoulders so that you can find more elevation and length out through the spine, high on the ball mound of your back foot. Take an inhale, and now exhale, straighten your left leg long. Breathe in again and reach your torso forward. Breathe out and bow over your left leg. Scissor hug your left hip back. Keep flexing the foot so your toes curl up towards your knee. Lunge forward into your front knee. Set your blocks to the side and inhale. Sweep your left leg high. Exhale, set the foot back down. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in and out. As you inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes. Look where you're going. Bend your knees and exhale. 2 big steps up to the top of your mat. Lengthen with your breath in. Fold with your breath out. Inhale, reach your arms to the sky. Big inhale. And as you exhale, goal post your wings, open up your chest. Inhale, lift your arms overhead. And as you exhale, slide your hands to your heart center. Surya Namaskar A. We'll move through a few rounds together, and then the last couple of rounds you can take on your own, following your breath. From mountain pose at the top of your mat, take an inhale, reach your arms out and up, look up. As you exhale, swan dive forward, hinge at your hips. Inhale, lengthen halfway, flatten out your back. Exhale, plant your palms, step back together, or step back to plank. Shifting forward, breathe in. As you exhale, option to lower knees, lower halfway to your hover, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, lift into low or high cobra, full cobra. And then exhale, send your hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out to let it go. As you inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, look where you're going. 2 big steps up to the top. Lengthen, inhale. Fold, exhale. Inhale, press through the feet, reach your arms out and up, look up. Exhale, hands back to the heart, Samastha. Inhale, second round, reach up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, lengthen. As you exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank. Option to keep your knees lifted this time. Shift forward past your wrists. Exhale, lower halfway to your hover. Inhale, legs never touch into up dog if you're transitioning there. And exhale, send the hips back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Inhale, look forward, rise up. Exhale, bend the knees, travel to the top. Lengthen, breath in. Fold, breath out. Inhale, rise all the way out and up. Exhale, seal the hands to the heart. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, plant the palms. Option to step back to plank or hop back with bent elbows right into chaturanga. Press forward with the chest. Find your cobra and then send the hips to the sky. Down dog. Inhaling here. Exhaling to let it go. Breath in, lift up onto your tiptoes. Breath out, bend your knees. Travel to the top. Lengthen. Fold. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, seal the hands back to the heart. Anjali Mudra. Last round is on your own, so follow your breath. Inhaling, using the full exhale. Really let the breath govern the movement. We will meet in a downward facing dog. So flow through how you like here, following your breath. And let's take a couple of breaths here together, in through the nose, out through the nose. Breath in and out. Feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. With an exhale, step your right toes directly behind your right wrist crease. Step your back foot in and out to the left a little. Make sure your toes are somewhere around a 45-degree angle. Now lift your torso halfway, but airplane your arms by your sides. Feel into the foundation of both feet. So your outer edges of both feet should really be trying to almost rip the mat apart. They're pressing so hard. As you breathe in, stretch your arms up for Warrior One or Virabhadrasana Eka. So aiming to square our hips as much as we can. Scissor hug the right hip back. Soften your back knee a little bit just so you can tuck the tailbone. Good, yeah, get your head stacked over your hips. And then maybe you've got some length out through the back heel or leg, lunge forward through the front knee. To strengthen our pelvis here, begin to lift both of your heels off the mat. Good. Inhaling, keep scissor hugging the right hip back, left hip forward, exhaling. Lower both heels and bring your hands down to frame your foot. Step back to high plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower to your push-up. Inhale to cobra. Exhale back to down dog. Breathing in and out. Feet together at the back of your mat. Lift your left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring your left toes right behind your left wrist crease. Step your back heel and foot in. Dial the toes at a 45. And then lift your torso just halfway. Take a moment to maybe even adjust the hips. That left hip is pulling back while the right hip is dialing forward. Left knee stays stacked over the ankle. When you feel satisfied, arms stretch up and overhead for Warrior One. Now, once you have your foundation in your feet, begin to lift your heels off the mat and strengthen your pelvic floor here. Strengthening the pelvis as we lift the legs and really work the muscles of the pelvis. Big inhale. And now exhale, drop your heels, lower your hands to frame your foot. Step back, and you can always choose to skip these flows. This is, again, your practice. So make it what you need it to be today. Feet together at the back of your mat. With your next inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes. Bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, travel to the top. Lengthen with a breath in. Fold with your breath out. Make sure your big toes are touching together here. Sit your hips back and down and reach your arms forward and up, Utkatasana or chair pose. I'm going to turn this way so you can see me a little bit better. Breath in, weight in the heels, lift up through your chest. Breath out, airplane your wings by your sides. Inhale up, exhale, airplane. Inhale, reach the arms up, but bring your hands down to your heart this round. Inhale, lengthen your torso. Exhale, twist over to your right. Hook the left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Look back in at your knees. Make sure that your left knee's in line with your right. Press down with your top palm. Right hand presses down to rotate those right ribs open. Keep the length out through the back of the neck and the crown of your head. Stay low, come back through center. Inhale for length. And exhale, twist to the other side. Opposite elbow, opposite thigh. Press down with the top palm so you can rotate the shoulder back and away from your ear. Bring the weight into your heels, maybe all 10 toes lift. Good. And then when you're ready, hands come back to center. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Breath in, lift halfway. Breath out, plant the palms, walk, step, hop, or float. Work your way back to your downward facing dog. Big breath in. Fuller breath out. Feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, stretch your right leg to the sky. With an exhale, bring the knee to the nose, step the foot right in between the hands for your low lunge. Inhale, the arms reach up, high crescent lunge. So again, we're squaring our hips to the top of our mat, but take the arch out of the back by bending into your back knee, pull the belly in, and then see if you can straighten that leg out without lifting your left hip. Stretch the arms back up overhead, spiral your pinky fingers in towards one another. Take an inhale. Exhale, airplane your arms by your sides, palms point towards the earth. Your torso is hovering over your front leg. We try not to let the belly touch the thigh. Keep this diagonal in your body and just reach your arms forward, power up your lunge. Exhale, airplane your wings. Inhale, lightning bolts with your arms. Exhale, fly. One more time, inhale, reach. Exhale, fly. Now inhale, reach the arms forward, come all the way up to high crescent lunge again. Exhale, open into warrior two. Find this external rotation in the right hip. Reach your arms out to a big Texas T. Press down equally, firmly through both pinky edge sides of your feet. Look out over your right middle finger, soft gaze. And as you look down, you should be able to see your right big toe on the inside of the foot. Flip the front palm, reverse your warrior up and back. Peaceful warrior, you can bring your back hand to your leg, wrap it around the back. You're still lunging forward in that front knee, staying equally lengthened through both side bodies. As you exhale, bring right forearm to thigh and sweep your left arm over the ear line, extended side angle. Press down through your left pinky toe. Rotate your left ribs open, turn the thumb up towards the ceiling, and press firmly away from that right forearm. Now with your top arm, keep reaching it over the ear line, and then drag yourself up. 5-pointed star, your toes will turn out, your heels will dial in. As you exhale, lower down into a goddess squat. Keep your head stacked over your hips. Keep your tailbone tucking towards the earth. Tendency is for the knees to cave in. Try not to let them. Keep pressing them back so that we're working the glutes. Now from your goddess squat, take an inhale, lift back up into your 5-pointed star, straighten arms and legs. As you exhale, pivot the feet and lunge back into warrior two over the top of your mat. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior to the sky. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, frame the foot, listen closely. Step your right foot all the way back into side plank. So you're going to come onto the pinky edge side of your left foot. Right foot, either place it in front of the left or stack it on top. And then right arm reaches to the sky. Lift your left hip away from the earth. Stretch that right arm over the ear line. Come back to high plank. And then take that to the other side. Heels drop to your right. Stack or layer your feet. And then lift your left arm, lift your right hip away from the earth. Stretch the top arm over the ear line. Come back to your high plank and flow. Lower, inhale, lift. Exhale, send the hips to the sky. Big breath in. Full breath out. I'm going to turn the other direction so you can see me a little better here. With your inhale, sweep your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your foot forward in between your hands. With a breath in, rise up, high crescent lunge. And take some time here. This time you might have to adjust a little differently. Maybe this side feels different than your other side. I know I usually have the tendency to arch in a lunge, so getting foundation from the feet and then really building the posture from the ground up. Reach all the way out through your fingertips. As you exhale, airplane your arms by your sides and bring your torso forward. So get this long line of energy from your back heel all the way out through the crown of your head. Palms will face towards the earth. And now power up your lunge. Just reach your arms forward. Exhale, send them back. Inhale, reach them forward. Exhale, back. One more flow. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. Now inhale, reach forward and all the way up. Head stacks over your hips, high crescent. Exhale, open into warrior two on this side. And just notice how it feels on this side. Maybe a little differently. Maybe widening or shortening your stance. I know my left side usually requires a shorter warrior two than my right. Press out through both arms. Reach away from your midline. Squeeze your glutes together and work the tailbone towards the floor. Crown of the head lifts up. Lunge a little deeper. Flip the front palm. Reverse warrior to the sky. Keep your left shoulder relaxed. Make sure you're not lifting up and back, right? Finding a back bend. We want equal length through both side bodies. As you exhale, bring left forearm to thigh. Sweep your right arm over your ear line. Now use this bottom arm as a lever to rotate your top ribs to the sky. Flip your thumb up. Good. Pinky edge side of the hand down. Press firmly through your back right foot and keep exhaling, rotating as you breathe out. From your extended side angle, use this top arm to help you lift, 5-pointed star. Exhale, goddess squat, shorten your stance as you need, lift up through your heart and your chest. Inhale, back to 5-pointed star. And exhale, warrior two to the top. Left toes forward, right toes at a 90 degree. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Step back to your plank, step back to your side plank. Heels over to the right. Lift the left arm. And then reach it over the ear line. Come back to your high plank. Heels over to the left. Lift your right arm. Side plank. Reach it over the ear. Come back to your high plank and choose to flow. Or again, you can always skip these flows and head right back to your dog. Always, always, always up to you. Breathe in through the nose. Breathe out to let it go. Down dog at the top of your mat. Breath in lifts the right leg to the sky. Breath out, right knee, right tricep this time. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the left. Inhale, lift. Exhale to the nose, round it in. Look forward and step your foot through. Finding your low lunge from here, you can use your blocks or stay high on the fingertips. Soften your back knee and lift the leg. Warrior three. Hands could come to heart or hands could be on blocks under your shoulders. We are going to flow a little bit here. Finding your balance, square this left hip down, dial it towards the earth. Extend beyond through the heel. Try to lift the heel in line with your hip. And for a breath, reach your arms forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, step back into your airplane lunge. Arms and leg reach behind you. Inhale, stretch the arms overhead, high crescent lunge. Exhale, open, warrior two, bring the back heel down. This time, reach your right arm forward and grab a block. Place it to the right upper corner of your mat. Bring your left hand to your hip. Soften your back knee and then lift the leg when you feel steady, balancing half moon. You'll likely need to walk this right hand out a little further and then make sure that it's behind the shoulder so that when you peel the left hip open, There's somewhere for your body weight to land, to be supported. Lift your left heel, reach out through the crown of your head. And now look down at your right big toe. Bend through the knee generously. And see if you can land into a goddess squat. Hands come to heart center, head lifts up to the sky. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, warrior 2 to the top of your mat, adjust your feet. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior up and back. And as you exhale, listen closely, frame the front foot, pivot the back heel down so you can step the right foot back for side plank. Reach the right arm to the sky, inhale. And now option this time to reach this right arm underneath of your left ribs like there's something behind you really want. And then back up to the sky. Reach the arm over the ear line, come back to high plank and flow through this time. Breath in and breath out. Big inhale. Full exhale, let it go. From downward facing dog, lift your left leg to the sky. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, over to the right. Then inhale, lengthen. Knee to nose, round. And then step the foot in between your hands. From your low lunge, right into warrior 3, with or without your blocks. Make sure that your right hip is dialing down more. It'll dial more so than you think it needs to. And then as you lift your torso, reach out through the crown of the head. At first, you may take hands to heart or airplane your wings. Together, for one breath, reach your arms forward. Exhale, bend your standing leg. Step your right foot back along with the arms. Arrow your lunge. Inhale, reach up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, open to warrior 2. Inhale, reach forward. Grab your block now with the left hand. Right hand to the hip. Soften your back knee, and then when you feel ready, lift the leg. Ardha Chandrasana, or balancing half moon. So as you're peeling your right hip open, keep a gaze on your left toes. The tendency is for them to kind of dial out towards the right corner of your mat. Keep them directly forward at 12 o'clock. Make sure your left block is behind you. You may come onto the fingertips to elevate your torso. And then when you feel steady in the legs, top arm can reach to the sky. Look down at your left foot first. Bend through your standing leg generously. Step back to the backside of your mat to land into goddess squat. Go to horse pose. Inhale, 5-pointed star, stretch out. Exhale, warrior 2 to the top of your mat over your left knee. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior to the sky. And exhale, cartwheel down, frame the foot. You're stepping back to your side plank. This time, left arm is reaching up, right hip. And now option to stay or reach the left arm under your right ribs, back behind you, all the way back up to the sky. And then come back to your high plank. Choose to flow or skip the flow completely and just relax. Find strength and length in your down dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. Another inhale here. Another exhale. On your inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes. Exhale, bend your knees generously. And now shoot yourself forward into high plank. Do that a couple of times. Generous bend, shoot forward. Generous bend, hips are high, and then shoot forward. So once you feel comfortable with this, feeling that momentum, we're going to take a little jump. So see how far you can jump up to the top, land on your bum, and bring your shins parallel to the floor. Draw your arms underneath so that you can sit up as tall as possible. Flex your feet. Good. Reach your arms out to the horizon. Take an inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, lower to canoe. Exhale to boat. 4 more. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. Last 2. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. And out. Now cross your right ankle over your left. Hug in. See if you can bring your hands down. Even if your hips don't lift very much, you could tap your toes. And see how much you can lift the hips. Come back into your boat as you uncross your ankles. Reach your arms out to the horizon. And then cross the opposite ankle on top. Again, toes can lower as you lift your hips. And we're kind of doing that to find this movement. Come back into your boat. And cross the ankles, shift forward. Step, hop, float it back. And let's work our way into downward facing dog. Take a breath in. And stay for the breath out. With your next inhale, stretch your right leg to the sky. With your exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Inhale, your arms reach up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, the arms open, warrior two. Inhale to 5-pointed star. This time, as you exhale, reach your arms out to the horizon and draw your toes directly forward to me, or even slightly pigeon-toed. Hinge at your hips, soften your knees, and forward fold with a flat back for a wide-legged forward fold. Walk your hands in line with your feet. If your head touches the earth, shorten your stance so that the spine has somewhere to reach to. The crown of the head has some place to work towards and keep that length. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold in again. Turn your toes out, dial your heels back in, and rise all the way up to 5-pointed star. Big breath in. As you exhale, warrior two to the top of your mat. Good. From here, go ahead and cartwheel the hands down on the inside of your foot. At the top of your mat, lunge into your right knee, and then work your way over to the opposite side. Skandasana through this top foot. You can keep your hands here for support, or if you want an extra balance challenge, hands could come to heart center. Let's do this 2 more times on each side, or I'm sorry, 1 more on each side. So right knee, Skandasana, and then left knee, Skandasana. Good, come back over the top, frame the front foot into your low lunge. And then as you exhale, step your foot back, high plank, either moving through a flow or again, skipping the flow as you head back to your downward facing dog. Big full breath in, nice full breath out. With an inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky. With an exhale, step your foot forward in between your hands. Reach your arms up, high crescent lunge. Reach your arms open, warrior two. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, arms to a T, toes forward, and then take them behind your back this time. Pull your knuckles down, lift your chest up. Soften at your knees, hinge at your hips. Wide-legged forward fold with a chest expansion this time. Try to bring the heels of the palms together, the weight into the ball mounds of your feet. Release the hands under the shoulders. Take an inhale, lift halfway. And this time pause. We're instead of coming up into warrior two, we're going to shift right into that left knee into Skandasana. Again, blocks underneath for support. Or without support, hands to heart center to the back of your mat. Lifting through the chest, the heart. And then 1 more time on each side. Our left side gets a little bonus this round. And to the back, to the right. Now heading back over our left foot, find a low lunge at the top of your mat, framing the foot there. And step back into high plank. Moving forward, exhale, lower to your hover. Inhale, press through the finger and the thumb and send the hip up and back, downward facing dog. Full breath in and fuller breath out. Feet together at the back of your mat from downward facing dog. Lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step the foot in between your hands. Inhale, reach your arms up, high crescent lunge. As you exhale this time, bring your hands to your heart and lift your back leg, warrior three. As you breathe in, bring your left knee with you, standing staff. As you breathe out, send the foot back into warrior three. Let's do that a couple more times. Press down through the right foot, Lift up through the crown, left knee into chest. And now extend it back behind you. Shoot through your heel, reach out through the crown of your head. This time, let's inhale, lift. And now exhale, step your foot back, airplane your arms by your sides. Inhale, reach your arms up, high crescent lunge. And as we exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Shifting forward, breathe in. Breathe out and twist to your right. Hook the left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Press down with the right arm. Option to open up your wings here as left fingers reach to the earth. Right arm to the sky. Gazing up if you like. Stay strong through your back left leg and hamstring. And now bring your hands back to your heart. Frame your front foot. Step back and flow here. Shifting, lowering, opening, and sending the hips back. Full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, the left leg reaches up and back. Exhale, step the foot in between your hands. Inhale, reach the arms up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, shift forward and lift the back leg, warrior three. Standing tall, press through your left foot, hug your right knee up in line with your hip, standing staff, and exhale, extend the leg back, draw your torso down. Inhale, soften through both knees, helps you to balance through that standing leg. And now extend the leg back, extend through the heel. One more time, this time we stay lifted. And as you exhale, step the right foot back into lunge, airplane your arms by your sides, adjust as you need. Breath in to stretch the arms overhead, high crescent lunge or Alanasana. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, twist to your left, hook the right elbow to the outside of the thigh, make fist or press down with that top palm to rotate your ribs open toward the ceiling. Option to stay here, open your wings. Stay really strong through the back of that right thigh. Slide the hands back to the heart, look down, frame the front foot, step back and float, or as you know, you can always skip it and head back to your down dog. Cycle through that how you like. A little bend through both knees, shifting the weight side to side. And now starting to cool down through the legs here. Feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, stretch your right leg to the sky. With an exhale, bring your right knee behind your right wrist crease. Find a figure 7 with your right leg. Scoot your left leg far back as it'll let you heel in line with the hip. And then walk your hands under your shoulders. Press through that front shin so you can feel the strength in your pelvis. If there's space underneath of your right hip, fill it in with something, water bottle, blocks, towels. And then begin to work your way forward. If you're choosing to come down into sleeping pigeon, resting your forehead or your forearms on something, whether it's support like blocks or the earth. And we'll take the next several breaths here to really just let this outer hip open. Let your belly be free. Let your face muscles relax. Come back to your breath. Enjoy your next 3 breaths here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands underneath of your shoulders, sliding any support that you have over to one side. Tuck your back toes, lift your right leg, bend the knee, peel open through your hip, squeeze the heel towards the glute. Option to stay here or set the foot behind your left shin or calf, and then lift your hips, arch through your upper body for Wild Thing, letting that top arm just kind of drip over the ear line. Look down and find your left fingers. And then bring your right hand back to the earth. Lift your right leg back up to the sky. Bring the right knee to the left elbow. Extend the leg through. Drop your back heel and lift your left arm for fallen triangle. Bring your left hand back under the shoulder. Retract the right knee. Send it back up to the sky. And set the foot back down. Downward facing dog. Feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky. With an exhale, bring your left knee right behind the left wrist crease. Scoot your right leg back. Try to get your pelvis as close as you can to the floor underneath of us. Any support that's needed, go ahead and fill it in there. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders, nice and tall through the spine. Right heel is in line with the hip. And then working your way forward. Nice and long here. Take as many breaths as you need to get settled in. And then let's be here for the next several rounds of breath. Just relaxing. Giving the outer left hip now permission to open up. Enjoy your next 3 breaths here. Full cycles, inhaling all the way up, all the way down. When you're ready, walk your hands under your shoulders. Slide support to the side if you were using it. Tuck your right toes under this time. Send the left leg up, back, and then bend at the knee. Peel the hip open. Option to stay here or lift those right toes. Set your left foot behind your right shin. And then arch through your back. Lift your hips. Open the chest. Wild Thing. As you bring the left hand back under the shoulders, send the left leg back up to the sky. 3-legged dog. Left knee to your right elbow, squeeze it across, extend the leg through, kind of like a side plank. Drop your back heel and sweep your right arm to the sky. Fallen triangle. You could stretch that top arm over the ear as well. Right hand back under the shoulder, retract your left knee in and send your left leg up. 3-legged dog. Setting the foot down, downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here to pedal out through your knees. Shifting the weight side to side. Lifting up onto your tiptoes, breathe in. As you exhale, lower your knees down. Sit your hips back onto your heels. And go ahead and bring your legs out in front of you. I'll face forward so you can see me a little better. Remove any flesh out from underneath of your sits bones. Flex your feet, soften your knees, stretch your arms up. As you exhale, bow forward, hinging at your hip creases and let your arms kind of relax where they fall. Let your chin dial back towards your chest. Keep reaching the crown of the head forward As you lengthen over the legs, you can grab onto toes if you like, but make sure you're not causing any additional tension in the shoulders or the neck by pulling yourself. And then when you're ready, come back up to a nice tall seat. Bend your right knee in, cross the foot over the left knee, toes lining up with the knee there. Bring your left hand behind you, your right hand behind you. Lift your left arm to the sky, and then take a twist over to the right, hooking the elbow or wrapping the arm around. Make sure your bottom leg and foot is flexed. And twisting deeply here. If it feels good, as we release, come around for a counter twist. And then go ahead and come back through center. Both legs are long. Bend into your left knee. Cross the foot over so that your toes line up with your opposite kneecap there. Bring your left hand behind you. Stretch your right arm to the sky and take a twist to your left. Pull the belly in as you twist. As you breathe in, let your belly inflate. Sitting up as tall as you can. Make sure that back hand is right next to your tailbone. Preferably the palm flat on the earth so one shoulder isn't higher than the other. And then working away from that side, option for a counter twist. Just drop your gaze in the other direction. And then come back to center, lengthen the legs out. Go ahead and scoot your feet to the top of your mat. You can bend at your knees. Slide a block down if you do have one. And then grab behind your knees and we'll lower on down together here. Be mindful of the time. Coming on down to your back. Good. When you get there, just relax with your knees bent, soles of the feet to the earth. And then begin to hug your knees into your chest. Little shift side to side, massaging the low back, circling the knees, or just rocking. And then let the soles of the feet come back down. Grab that block if you have one next to you, or a blanket would work here as well. Lift your hips up and slide the block either level 1 or 2 under the sacrum for a restorative bridge or a supported inversion if you would like to extend your legs up to the sky. One of my favorites is to let one leg lower down so that top hip flexor stretches. Switch it out. You could also do both legs long together. Nice big opening across this whole front side. And then when you feel satisfied, walk your heels back under your knees. Lift your hips. Slide the block over to the side. Hug your knees into your chest. Good. And then separate your knees. Reach up to grab for ankles or for the arches of your feet. If shoulders and head come off the mat, take your grip down a little lower on your legs. You could grab behind the knees as well. You're just trying to get the top of your knees closer to the earth to help us open up these inner groins. At the same time, watch how far you're pulling towards your face. You don't want your tailbone to curl up like a cooked lobster tail. Instead, stay grounded there through the back of your tailbone, the neck, and the head. Welcome to find movement or stillness once you arrive. Lengthening. Good. And then gather the knees back in. Wrap your arms around your shins, grab for opposite elbows, bring your nose up into your knees, take a big breath in through your belly. And then exhale, open the mouth, let the air go. Let your arms and legs fan out nice and wide here. If you'd like any support, I'm going to take a blanket and place it under the neck today, or maybe blocks under the knees, maybe a block under your head or your shoulders. Take the next several minutes to be here in this space. Final resting pose is still so much a part of the practice. It's not necessarily a place for us to take a nap, even though it may turn into that, which is completely fine. But it is a place where we want to stay conscious. We want to be present, aware that we're here in this space, but allow everything else to just fade away. Any thoughts, any to-do lists. Remind yourself that you're still in practice and there's still time for your body to benefit from this rest, from this pose, corpse pose or shavasana. Make any other movements that you need to become 10% more comfortable. Let your limbs be heavy, your breath be free. Deep peace to all of you. Begin to deepen your inhales and exhales. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, clenching the fists and then letting the palms spread out. Maybe doing the same with your feet. Roll your ankles and your wrists. And then start to take on larger movements that help you to reawaken, stretching or curling. Guide the knees into your chest and roll over onto your right side. Pausing in the fetal position there. Rest your head on top of your bicep or upper arm. A moment here to thank ourselves for staying present for this last hour. Press down with your top palm, lengthen your top leg, and sit up with as little effort as possible. Try to keep your eyes closed even if you can. Bring your hands back to your heart center. Once you find your seat, fan your fingers, reach your elbows wide. Sit up nice and tall, proud through your chest. When we have a purpose, a reason to practice, we're able to stay more present. We're able to know that that purpose is there for us. So I encourage you to take this intention out with you into the rest of your day And with whatever task is at hand, make sure that you have a purpose. Make sure that you know what the reason is for doing what it is you're doing, so that you can be present and engaged. Thank you for sharing your practice, your energy, and breath with me. Let us end our practice by saying, may peace, may love, may light be felt within each and every one of you. Bless you and everyone that you meet. Namaste. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice with me today. I hope that you feel good, the flow of all flows. This is your video to keep, so I hope that you enjoy it. And until I see you next time, yogis, virtually or in person, namaste.